Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we study poem number 20 in Broken Images by Robert Graves. First we will study the theme of the poem, the introduction of the poet. Robert Graves. Robert Graves was a war poet, translator of classics and novelist. During his lifetime, he wrote over 140 works, including an autobiographical account of his life, his time in the First World War. Goodbye to all things. That Robert Graves was born in Wimbledon on 24 July 1895 to middle-class parents. This was the brief introduction of the poet Robert Graves. Now we study the theme of the poem, Broken Images. The Broken Images theme of the poem. In this poem highlights the importance of critical approach in life. We should have critical approach in our life. The poet advises that the person should remain curious about the images of life, about the concepts of life, about the ideas of life. We should not take anything for granted. We should make research and remain thoughtful and considerate about the effects of life. The poet compares himself with a sharp person. The poet compares himself with a sharp person. The sharp person has clear images. The quick person, the sharp person has clear images. He trusts his clear images and assumes them true, correct, authentic and relevant, while the poet considers himself in confusion about his images, and he makes research and he reaches at correct, authentic and clear notions or clear images. This was the theme of the poem. Now we come to the synonyms which are asked in the exam from this poem. Images, ideas, notions, concepts. Quick, clever, sharp, smart. Broken, unclear, incorrect, dull, slow, assumes, supposes, imagines. Senses, wisdom, wit, approves, agree to, sanction. These were the synonyms in the poem. Now we study the textual lines of the poem in Broken Images. The textual line, we now study the textual context of the book, of the poem. First line of the poem is, he is quick, thinking in clever images. I am slow, thinking in broken images. In these two lines, the poet is comparing himself with a person who is very quick, who is very clever, who is very sharp, who consider himself that he is very intellectual. He is overconfidence basically. He consider himself authentic. He consider himself correct in each and every matter. So poet says that he is quick. He thinks that his notions, his concepts, his research is is correct. He has no need to make research. He has no need to investigate about anything. Whatsoever he thinks, the person thinks that he is right. While the poet says that he is slow, he has broken images, he has not authentic, he has not correct images. So he makes researches about his concept, about his notions, about his norms, about his thinking, or about his ideas which he has in his mind. he becomes dull, trusting his clear images. The person who is very quick, he considers himself very clear, who considers himself very active, very sharp, who considers himself intellectual. He does not make research about his notions, about his thinking. He trusts fully, authentically. He trusts on his notions or images. I become sharp, mistrusting my broken images. While the poet does not make trust on his images, he considers them that his research, his notions or his thinking is not correct. So as a result, he is in curious condition. He is in suspension. He questions many people, many learned individuals about his concepts, about his notion, or about his thinking. As a result, he is in advance in learning, in education, in knowledge. Trusting his images, he assumes their relevance. When the quick person thinks that he has correct images, so he trusts them. When he trusts them, he considers them that his knowledge, his notions, his thinking, his concepts or his norms are relevant or according to his thinking. What he thinks is all in all. What he thinks is correct. What he thinks is reality. Mistrusting my images, poet says that he mistrusts, he does not trust his images. I question their relevance. He asks question to the intellectual people, to the learned man, to the experts, to the individual who knows, to the person who are expert in their field. Poet consults with them. As a result, he becomes genius, he becomes active, he becomes knowledgeable. Assuming their relevance, he assumes the fact. Because he is overconfident, the sharp person is overconfident. Whatsoever he thinks that he is right. He himself is involved in his life, he is in personality. He needs not to consult with the person who knows the problem of the things, who knows the solution of the problem of the thing. Question their relevance. I question the fact. The poet actually question which he thinks, which are the things in his mind. He questions the fact from other people who are very intellectual, who are very learned, and he learned a lot in this way. When the fact fails him, when the facts fails him, he questions his senses. When he was sharp person was overconfidence, he thinks that he is thinking well, whatsoever he thinks is correct. So when his experiences fails, he questions to his senses. 5 senses are here: seeing, knowing, smelling, taste, touching and hearing. These are the senses. When he fails in his knowledge, he questions to his senses, but he is shameful over it, being overconfident. When the facts fail me, when poet is fail in every matter, the poet is failed in every matter, in every concept or knowledge, I approve my senses. The poet says that he improves, he make development in his senses, because he is rather not overconfident. He consider it good thing to consult with learned, with expert people. So he is an advantage. He makes research. He is in suspension. He continues quick and dull in his clear images. The overconfident person, the quick person, does not change his habit. of self-centeredness. So when he remains in his self, he is self-centered, he considers himself all in all, his image his notions becomes not clear. So as a result, he becomes entangled, he becomes captivated to his lust, his this quench. While the poet says, I continue slow and sharp in my broken images. While the poet continues slowly and sharply in his broken images, in his non-trusting images, and he makes researches, or as a result he get a lot of knowledge, a lot of information. He is in a new confusion of his mistrusting, his misunderstanding. I in a new understanding of my confusion. The person who is overconfident, the quick person who is self-centered, who consider himself learned one, so-called learned one, he is in a new confusion, he is captured, he is caught in new confusion and of his misunderstanding, of his misconception, misperception. He is captivated, he is a slave of misunderstanding, misperception, misconception, wrong knowledge, unauthentic things. He is captured. So he actually is going to the suicide, he is going to commit suicide because he does not study any book, he does not study any book, he does not consult with any expert or person of the learned individual. I in a new understanding of my confusion, while the poet is in a new confusion, he understands the things in a clear, in a vivid, in a obvious way. So he is in advantage, the poet is in advantage, while the other person who consider himself all in all in his personality, he is self-centered, he does not make research, while the poet think himself that he is humble, he is common man, he does nothing, he is not a learned man. So as a result, he gets a lot, he gets large, he gets a lot of things by studying, by asking question, by making research. So this is actually very simple poem, but it's a very philosophical poem that is written by Graves. We should not be lazy, we should be active, we should not be overconfident, we should not self-centered. We should always make it our habit to consult about the facts, about the reality, about the authenticity, about the correctness of the things in our surrounding. Now we come to the exercise. What is the state of two persons, one who trusts clear images and the other who trusts the broken images? This is the first short question of the exercise. Once again I repeat the question. What is the state of condition of two persons, one who trusts clear images and the other who mistrusts the broken images? The person who trusts clear images is very quick person, very clear person. He does not make research, he does not consult with the highly qualified person, so he does not learn anything and he becomes dull at the end. While the other person who mistrusts, who is poet, who mistrusts his knowledge, his broken images, he consults, he makes researches, he consults and he makes researches, and as a result he became quick. In this question, the quick person became dull, and the poet who consider himself dull becomes very quick at the end by questionnaires, by asking question, by reading books, by studying books, by consulting learned men, by consulting scholar type of person, he becomes very intellectual and very witty and very intelligent. Question number 2. Who does a person question his senses when the facts fail him? Who does a person question his senses when the facts fail him? The person who trusts clear images, misunderstands the reality. In the end, the harsh and bitter reality relieves him in confusion, leaves him in lonely condition. So he becomes very puzzled and he blames his senses that they mislead him. Actually, he himself is overconfident, but he blames on his senses. He himself is responsible of his ignorance, of his negligence, but he considered that his senses misled him. Question number 3. Who is a new confusion of his misunderstanding? Who is in new confusion of misunderstanding? The quick person, the clever person, the overconfidence person is in his new confusion of his understanding. When he considered himself all in all, that he says that whatsoever he knows is correct, is authentic, is relevant. So he understands each and everything. When he thinks this, he is in confusion. When reality comes to him, when correctness comes to him, he sees and compares his knowledge. It is a totally difference between his knowledge and reality. So he is in a new confusion. What is the moral lesson of the poem? The moral lesson of the poem is this, that about our knowledge, we should make verification. We should consult with the expert person. We should study books. We should make experience. We should use our senses, all the 5 senses we have. We should make our senses. We should certify and we should make experience. Either the knowledge we have is either correct or not correct. In this way, we can come to a conclusion that what is the status, what is the condition of our information, of our knowledge, of our views or conceptions. So this is a moral lesson, that we should not be overconfident. We should not blind follower. We should not be blind follower. We should not be overconfident in our thinking, in our findings, in our conception, in our perception, in our ideas, in our norms. We should make researches. We should do hard work. We should be curious in our thinking, in our perception, notions, etc. This was the last question of exercise. 4 questions are here and you have to memorize. This was our last poem. Now our poem's portion has ended. Inshallah, in next lecture we will meet with another topic. Goodbye. Love.